Hey guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to day 27 of this series. Can you guys believe I've managed to make 27 videos in a row? That's definitely a record for my 13-year-old YouTube channel. Anyway, got another creepy tale for you from the No Sleep subreddit, so enjoy the spooky tale while I get my hands dirty. I graduated in 2017. Got my degree in social work, and then I worked for 2 years at a rehab. It wasn't my plan to be there permanently. I thought I just needed a break from school, some time to live in the real world and get a feel for what I wanted moving forward. But I came to find that I absolutely loved my job, and I really couldn't see myself working in another field again. Having been an addict myself, it was fulfilling to see people start to find hope. You can see the way people would be gray and tired when they came in, and so many of them, even though they didn't all stay successful, would glow by the time they left. That was until a client managed to get drugs in and overdosed in his closet. It was his roommate who found him. I wasn't even working that day, but I know that if staff had been doing their checks every 15 minutes like they were supposed to, they might have found him in time. He officially died at the hospital. I couldn't even blame them, though, because we were so understaffed. So many things would slip through the cracks. Slowly, my love for my job started to fade. I found myself losing patience with coworkers and even clients, although to a lesser degree. I felt like no one could do their job right. I was working with people who couldn't even copy and paste on the computer, and navigating computers wasn't a small portion of our job. I became bitter, and I could see coworkers withdrawing from me, their hellos in the hallways becoming more hesitant and less sincere. My self-care was slipping. I was struggling with dating and burning bridges with friends. I started smoking again, only on the weekends, not even to relax, but to have spiritual experiences, to find joy in something, because nothing made me happy anymore. That's when I knew it was time for me to go. So I quit my job and moved back to my hometown to live with my mom while I got back on my feet and addressed the depression I'd let get out of hand. I was no good to anyone in the condition I was in. I'd never lived upstairs at my mom's before. The upstairs used to be my older sister's room, and my room used to be downstairs. There's a bathroom up there, the old bedroom, and a storage room. The problem was I moved during midsummer, and in order to keep the space cool, a window unit had to run pretty much constantly. It's really loud, and the only way I can sleep with it is if I use earplugs. I've slept with them every single night since I moved in. I don't mind them that much, but the only thing I'll say is that it's unsettling to have everything drowned out. I worry I wouldn't hear a fire alarm or a tornado siren. Also, my sister would always insist it was haunted up here. Our house is oldish, and it has some old fixtures like a laundry drop and a coal chute leading under the porch. Her room is set up with 2 small closets on either side of the far wall. You know how there's always 1 or 2 places in a house where you look because that's where you expect something creepy to be? She said the right closet was always that for her. Now, I'm a little easily spooked. Usually if I watch a ghost movie, it will stick with me for a couple of nights while I'm trying to sleep. With that being said, I got no weird vibes up here at all. My cats didn't seem to be reacting to anything, with the exception of one of them trying to get into that right-hand closet. He'd reach his paw under the door, and sometimes he'd even manage to pull things out. My sister never cleared her stuff out when she moved, so a bunch of it is still jammed in there. The latch is useless, so I put my entertainment center against it to keep him from opening it. A few nights ago, with the weather cooling down, I tried turning the air conditioner off and sleeping without the earplugs. It was a little difficult falling asleep since I was essentially adjusting to the sounds of a new space for the first time. And that's why I was annoyed when I was woken up in the middle of the night by one of my cats jumping up to sit on my chest. He'd been doing this every night since we moved, but I thought nothing of it, just that he was nervous in this new place. But now, without the earplugs, I could hear a rattling. My first instinct, like any rational person, was that my other cat was pulling at the door again. I lazily yelled at him to stop, and the rattling did stop for a minute or so. Then it started again, less frantically, now more purposefully, banging against the wood of the entertainment center. Sitting up, I found my other cat sitting at the foot of my bed. My eyes made their way back to that closet door, unmistakably moving on its own. Then there was a pop, and another pop, followed by a series of cracking noises, as if someone was cracking every single bone in their body on the other side of the door. I was frozen there in my bed until I heard what sounded like dozens of beads dropping to the floor. Finally getting the courage to move, I swear I heard whispering coming from that closet as I ran down the stairs. I woke my mother up and demanded she come upstairs with me. She guessed there might be an animal trapped up there. We grabbed my cats and their food in a litter box, and I slept in my old bedroom with them downstairs for the night. In the morning, we called animal control and explained what had happened. They agreed it was best not to open the closet ourselves, and they sent someone out to possibly collect whatever was stuck in there. I hated the idea that some poor creature might have been struggling for help all summer while I slept obliviously with earplugs each night. Of course there was nothing. There was no possum, no droppings or fur, or any sign that even mice had been in there. The animal control guy carefully lifted some of my sister's junk out of the way to make sure there was no area where something could have gotten in. Not even space for a bat. There was no explanation for whatever I'd heard. My mom theorized maybe I'd been dreaming, or maybe one of the cats had been messing with the door after all and I'd just been confused. Later that day, my cat pulled something else out of the closet. It was a small cloth sack, and inside was an old prayer bracelet. My mom looked at me funny when I showed her this. She mentioned my depression, asked if there was something I wasn't telling her, if I was using again, or maybe the prayer bracelet was some random trinket of my sister's. What about the sound of beads falling that I heard, Mom? It's an old house. Pipes can make weird noises. Your cat likes that closet because it doesn't latch, and your sister put ideas about ghosts in your head. I really don't think there's anything up there, but I probably wouldn't want to sleep there for a while either. So we did an experiment. I slept in my old bedroom downstairs again, but we set up a webcam to record up there overnight. When we checked it that morning, the footage showed the door moving again. Right before the shaking and banging starts, you can hear the same popping noises I heard the night before, accompanied by 3 bony white fingers slipping under the door. If you turn the volume up really loud, you can hear a faint whisper, "Come back. It hurts me here. Take it. It hurts me here." And that's when I realized the bracelet in that bag belonged to the former patient who had died. He gave it to me the day before he overdosed. He'd just found out his sponsor had relapsed and was in the hospital. The bracelet was a gift from his sponsor, so he'd never feel alone. He said, "It makes me feel more alone than ever now." I asked if he was sure he didn't want to hang on to it, but he insisted. "Take it. It hurts me to have it here." He looked like he was trying not to cry. I handed the bracelet over to my boss, and she shoved it in her desk drawer, and then she left for the weekend. I didn't know he was struggling so much. I should have known. As I'd heard, one of the staff members cracked his chest performing CPR. I drove back to the city today and put the bracelet on his grave, because he's not alone. Before I left, I stopped by my coworker's house to visit. I didn't tell her about everything that had happened, but I did tell her what I'd done with the bracelet, and that I'd been thinking about him. That's when she told me this. Actually, I've really been needing to talk to someone about this, but the boss doesn't want us gossiping about the incident. I was there when they replayed the tape, since I was supervisor on the day it happened. On the security camera, it looks like a person went into his room after him, but the footage glitched out and some kind of anomaly makes it look like a transparent shadow. And it never came out of the room. You see his roommate going in, finding him. You see staff arriving, and the paramedics. Whatever followed him in that room never came out. I asked about it, but I guess the police dismissed it as a lag or something. I've been having nightmares about that thing following me, and it always ends with it sitting on my chest and my bones cracked the way he did when Carlos was doing chest compressions. You know, Carlos got fired for that. I guess he didn't have his CPR license up to date. When I got home, I replayed the footage I'd captured. I isolated the voice clip and cleaned it up. There's another voice. It sounds like it's coming from behind the camera. There's a low, prolonged snickering sound, and then in a low, demonic voice, almost blending in with the other sounds, you can hear someone say something. Here to stay. Whew, that one gave me chills. Alright guys, links as always are in the doohickey below. Click if you want. Thanks for watching, and watch out for those haunted beads.